What's up, everybody?
All them false teachers you gon' pay for. And it's coming back soon, so just wait for it. Better hope he have mercy, better pray for it. John 3:36, what you say, Lord? Whoever don't obey the Son, get a rapper guy. Don't ask me questions, better start asking God. Because you ain't mad at me, you really mad at God. And I used to rap for the devil, now I rap for God. You scared of persecution? Yeah, I understand. What happens when you deny God in front of man? Y'all run around questions about the LGBT. But God said a man shouldn't be with another man. He said it's an abomination. The word is the word, forget the denomination. I'm switching the word to avoid confrontation. You serving the world, you ready for that conversation? I listen to Christian hip hop, I heard a lot of verses. They talk about cars, I ain't hear any Bible verses. I'm taking advantage of Christians, no, they got a purpose. I guess it's for the money. I mean, I hope it's worth it. Revelation 3:15, that's what this is about. You could have stayed with God, but you took a different route. Instead of telling the truth, you kept it in your mouth. You know what he do to lukewarm, he spit him out. I'll always talk about the love, but forget around. The road to the kingdom is narrow, so you do the math. The way is broad to the dark path. The Bible tells you you're going, so I ain't gotta ask. First Corinthians 6:9-13. The most important words are do not be deceived. People will lie to you, but we know where that leads. They hear us talk Christianity, they got what they need. And all them false teachers you gon' pay for it. And it's coming back soon, so just wait for it. You better hope he have mercy, better pray for it. John 3:36, what you say, Lord? Your high behind salvation to justify your sin. And when I ask you for scripture, then you gon' lie again. And now you angry, well, they go your pot again. And they questioning your faith, but you gon' hide again. You say you raise a faith, but how does that work? First off, faith is dead without works. You did not have to
All
go to
right,
hell just to
everybody.
get
That's
mercy.
Bryson
Mercy
Gray,
ain't free,
False
but it's like
Teachings.
mercy. James 2:26, you know I got to see.
So, what's up, everybody? Haven't been on here for a minute. I hope everybody had a good holiday. We into a new year. Satan is on the move. A lot of things is happening in our world, in our country. God said things were going to be happening, and they're happening. So we just got to stay focused, have faith on what God has told the bride of Christ, the warriors of God, that whatever God said is going to come true, and how He said it is going to be, period. So this is some tough times for the Christian body to go through. Their faith is being tested. Um, the world is going more and more crazy. They losing their mind. They are being controlled by the government and what they're telling them to do, and all these things. People not thinking for themselves. They have totally lost common sense. God said that they would. Um, so it's a lot of persecution going on with Christians, with conservatives, with the mega movement, which God said would happen. But God said at the height of it is when He gonna take care of it. So we very getting close to the peak of it. But um, what I'm on here to talk about today is the fact that people calling themselves black and white and all these other colors and things like that is played out. It's been played out with me. I've been gave up the black card. You can have it. They could pile them up. I don't know what they're gonna do with them, but you can have mine because black is a mindset, and I don't have a black mindset. Um, God doesn't identify me by a color. He identifies me as a servant of God, a warrior for God, a believer, a mother. Nouns that they're trying to get rid of, like in Congress, but a warrior, a God believing woman. That's what I am. So that's what I'm gonna be identified as. It's what God identified me as. He doesn't identify you by color. So anytime color is involved, then you know God is not in it. The civil rights movement didn't wasn't the black civil rights movement. It was the civil rights movement, and that's why God was in it, because it was for the rights of the people, all people. So anytime something has to do with color, then God has nothing to do with it. So, like I said, I don't have the black mindset. The black mindset is holding a whole culture of people behind. It's like their mamas, their grandmas, their great grandmas, they all been brainwashed with a black mentality that has been their own oppressor for decades. And it seems to keep controlling them. I mean, as I go out and about and around, it's like living in the twilight zone. It's like you watch a whole culture of people that's just programmed. And these are white folks. Some white folks are programmed too. But when you see how small the black population is, 12%, about 40 million people, which only a certain percentage of that is adults where you old enough to make your own decisions, that a small group of people for decades have been controlled. The media is their leader. Whatever they say on the news and fake CNN and all of this stuff, they believe it. Like, they live by what they told them. They have been their leaders for decades. Their source of information, false information, lies, deceiving a whole culture of people to manipulate them. I mean, they so blatant with things now, they say it right to their face and they still follow. You know, it's just such an intimidation to a culture. And it's sad. It's really sad to see how the black mindset has really tore up a whole culture. How they don't even think for themselves. They tell you A, you do A. They tell you B, you do B. They tell you C, you do C. It's just like, whatever they tell you to do, you do it. Then they go back to A. They get rid of B. Then they go back to D. It's like retarded. It's like, and they do it with no problem. And it's just sad. It's like a culture that has no soul anymore. And it's sad to see, as I see people that I know and things of that nature. It's just a weak mindset. And it's just like, what's wrong? Why can't they see? And that's a struggle that I deal with. And I ask God all the time, like, God, why can't they see? And before I got saved, it was a lot of things I didn't see. So I'm trying to, understand, like, but I always had a lot of conservative values to begin with. But it's just like, they're getting deeper and deeper, more programmed. And it's just like, you over here waving like, hey, wake up. And they still like asleep. They can't get it. They can't see what's really going on. They want to make this control and mask and all this stuff normal. And they're accepting it. It's like a whole culture of people have just been swept, gone. They don't even get it. It's just like, they tell you stuff right in front of your face and you still be asleep. So I've been praying heavily for witchcraft to be lifted up off of the people, because that's what it is. The Jezebel spirit is really strong going around. That's who's really leading this fight against the Christian body, is Jezebel. Jezebel in our leadership, Jezebel in women day-to-day interaction. A lot of them have parts of Jezebel in them. So Jezebel is really ruling this fight that we having at this time. And it's really sad, because personally I have to be like, Lord, I'm trying to be kind and understanding, but really I'm ready to take somebody's head off. So I'm trying to be calm, but I'm really ready to, be done. Like, give me the green light. Lord, like, be calm. And I'm like, okay, but taking persecution is not always easy. You know, and it's really stirring up heavy, especially in the women. Is they are the leaders of the Jezebel, and they really stirring up the friction and the conflict. Um, so a lot of people I don't really talk to because they don't get it. And, you know, it's just like iron sharpens iron. They don't have to iron. So what do you do with that? It's like, Lord, what do I do with those who I know don't have to iron? You know, it's just like you like that's falling behind you. Can you look and see? And they be like, oh, I don't see anything falling. It's falling. It's about to hit you in the head. I don't see it. You know, it's like, well, how do you communicate with someone with that? Like, you know, how do you do that? So basically, I've been staying kind of quiet as far as socializing with certain folks, even talking on the phone to people. I kind of like don't with a lot of people, because it's like, no, I'm not Jesus, so I don't have the patience that Jesus has, and that Jesus has with me or anybody else. I just don't. I'm not Jesus, so I have to pray for that more. You know, calmness to talk to people, or you know, patience to deal with people who are can't see. So our country is going through a lot of turmoil, and a lot of revealing is being done. God is greatly exposing all across the world. There's so much stuff going on that a lot of people are a bit oblivious to. Because it's easier to not know. And I'd be like, Lord, well, how come a lot of us, we know a lot of things, and we just be like, it would be easier for me not to know what I know. And I always used to say that as a kid, that it would be easier. God, why do I know these things that these people don't know? Why can I see these things that people can't see? And, you know, God was going to use you for the times and seasons that he needs you for, like I'm used in this time and season. So now I see why that I had to know these things that easier for me not to know. So, what I want to say too is for those warriors who are feeling weak, just to stay strong in the Lord and have faith in the Lord and connect with one another. That's what I'm, you know, trying to do, connect with more people on the war that have the warrior mindset, the warrior spirit. That's on a mission to do God's work and assignments, and in this season that we in. So try to connect with different people and things in that nature who are serving God, uncompromising, and things of that nature. Because like I was saying in the song of Bryson Gray, false teaching, there's so much false teaching out here. A lot of these people have been taught falsely by these pastors and preachers, compromising preachers. Unity, you can't unify with Satan. You can't compromise with Satan. Snake is always a snake. A snake will always bite you no matter how much you give in. And that's what our government, with the with the orders and mandates and things that they're doing with your life, your livelihood, and your way of life, you can never give in enough. It'll never be enough for Satan, because Satan is the one running things with them. He's their leader. So there's nothing you can do to satisfy them. Everything they do, they're going to keep taking it a step further. And if you're blind and can't see, then there you go, over the cliff. So be prepared, be ready for things. You know, just connect and be strong in the Lord, and, you know, don't be afraid. You have to push the fear of unknowing out out the way. Because God will ultimately, His way will ultimately win. Therefore, we are the victory. We will ultimately have the victory. It's just a rush patch going through to get to the victory that we are, having to go through to get there. Keep praying for those who haven't woke up, because God said pray for their souls, pray for the mercy of their souls, because they are in jeopardy, because they're following false teachings, and they have been led astray, led away from God. Many videos that I did, the other videos about God said, you don't understand who I am. You really don't know me, God said. You have really no true faith in me, because you don't even understand me and how I work. You have more faith in what a government tell you than you do in me. And that's why they can't see, because they looking for answers from man, and they looking for man to fix wicked problems like this COVID. They planned it and they designed it. And you looking for them to fix the wickedness from the wicked. The wicked will never fix the wickedness. They will cause more wickedness, and that's what they're doing. Taking down our businesses, things, it was the way to bring down the country, period, point blank. That's why they did it. That's why they locked it down, because it was an all planned thing to do from the get-go. It was all a plan to ruin the United States, to bring in the reset that they want, which is one world order. Many people should know this by now, but like I said, especially the black culture, they lost. They still don't get it. They still following in the orderly line like the Nazis did the Jews. I mean, that's why we have history, to learn from history. But people not. They're not learning that they led Jews straight to the slaughter, to the gas chambers, and killed them, poisoned them, and killed them by the millions. So they didn't get that their government did that to them, and that's where our government is leading us ultimately. So wake up, people. Wake up. You're not paying attention to history. That's why they wanted to get rid of history. That's why they wanted to tear down statues and monuments. Good or bad, history must be told. It must stay. You must know history so you don't repeat history. That's bad history. So we're not paying attention to history, which was not too far long ago. You still have people that were children that are alive today that were in the Holocaust, and we still not getting it. They killed the whole culture of people, and the black culture still ain't getting it. They're still being led to the slaughter. Still being led to the slaughter out of fear, out of ignorance. And they have a foolish mind, God said. They're fools with a foolish mind. And of course, it's just not the black culture, white culture, to certain people in that. But God has me really talking to the black culture, because they so far behind. And knowing things. It's just like they are the deepestly controlled culture there is. It's the black Americans in this country, because they have a black mindset instead of a God mindset. They have a color mindset, a black mindset, which is ruining them. It has been for decades. That's why it's never worked, because you're basing things off of black business on, black this on. No. I have a business and I serve God. That's what you should have. I serve Jesus and I have a business. So that's why we never get nowhere culturally, because we are leading off our color, black, which nobody is black. My shirt is black. I'm not this color, nowhere near this color. This is not my color. You understand what I'm saying? So why would I let a color define me? I'm not this color. Many of us are not this color. So what does black really define? It's a mindset. It's a separation, a division mindset, a controlled, an oppressed, a victimization mindset. That's what the black culture is, period. And it hasn't gotten us anywhere, and it will not get you anywhere, because God can't be in nothing, this false teaching. He can't bless it. So when you get out of the black mindset, then he can start blessing ideas and things that line up with God. Because if it don't line up with God, he can't be in it. So ultimately, it will be no good. So that's what I have to say for today. I do want to give some words of encouragement. New things are happening this year. Change is coming. It's not an easy road to change, but change is coming. People need to get their hearts right with Lord, turn life around, stop compromising, stop having one foot in, stop being lukewarm, because God is going to spit you out his mouth like vomit. So that's what we need to do, people, and get it together. And allow ourselves to be guided by God and not by man. You know, that's the most important thing, is to allow yourself to be led by God, because man will fail you and will fail you all the time. So you need to allow yourself to be guided by God, so you don't be looking like, oh, what happened? And won't be in shock and surprised and disappointed. So that's what I have to say today, people. I didn't get my massage today. I did go get an adjustment, but she did it really quick. I was like, ooh, could have went, did it more detailed adjustment, but yeah, so I have to wait till next Friday to get my massage. But yeah, that's what I had to say today, people. I'm going to get my grandbaby tomorrow and spend some time with her tomorrow. And I'm looking to make a transition myself from Michigan soon. So that is it. I will be back with another video tomorrow. I got my little tripod that I'm using. That thing is difficult to use. I see why people be having so hard of a time using those things. But I will be back tomorrow with another video. And everybody be blessed and have a good day. Bye-bye.